college students, what are some must-knows for incoming freshmen this fall? Take notes in lectures. Digital if you want, but I could only remember notes that were handwritten. Something about it really helped. When you get a homework assignment, look at it that day. Get it in your mind and gauge how difficult it'll be. Even if you do nothing else that day, it'll stick in your mind and help you plan ahead. Try to avoid starting any assignment on the last day before it's due. Former college student. Don't buy a bunch of room decor until you actually are in your room. Make an effort to befriend your roommate, but know that it isn't the end of the world if you aren't best friends for life. Learn how to do laundry and cook some basic microwave meals before you leave for school. Get to know your professors. Office hours aren't just for getting help. Networking is the single most important thing that you will do during college. Make a schedule you actually want to keep. Don't sign up for a class at 7 in the morning because that's how high school was. Don't sign up for one class after another either, simply on the basis that you're used to having a block of classes all lined up. If you want an hour-long break between classes, do that shit. If you want to take some classes in the afternoon and some at night, cool stuff. Hell, if you're someone who is super productive at 3 in the morning, take online classes and just do all your classwork in the middle of the night. I made that mistake myself and had to learn the hard way. Hashtag don't be silly, rap your willy. Or the other person's willy. Just rap all willies involved. Professors have professor hours where they make themselves available for questions. Go to them. Even if it's a dumb question, they'll remember you when grading time comes. I was a B student in a lot of my classes but ended up with A because I went to professor hours. Also, get involved with the various clubs. Part of your tuition goes into funding them, so you might as well take advantage. If I didn't join the Taekwondo club in college, I would probably still be a fat ass. This may not apply to every class, but I generally wouldn't buy books until I needed them. A lot of classes you can just not buy the books, or you end up using a $150 book for one assignment then never touch it again. There's of course exceptions to this. Some books are absolutely required, but often you didn't need them till a couple weeks in. Edit. Since this is getting a lot more attention, I figured I would compile a list of resources/tips on where to get your books. Many have pointed out searching for them on Library Genesis. Your school library most likely has the books you can borrow temporarily and you can copy the pages you need. You can also just Google the ISBN to find alternate places to buy books from. I highly recommend renting your books if you have to get the book. You can find cheap rentals on Amazon as well as many sites when searching the ISBN. If you want to own the book, then buy used. It will be much cheaper. Just make sure if you need an online key that the used one has it or you can get it cheap. Make sure you get the correct revision of book as it can make things harder. TLDR. Look for correct revisions, and if you need an online key, search online for PDF copies or use a site like Library Genesis. Rent your books, it's often a fraction of the cost. Buy used from any reputable site. Borrow a book from a friend or the library and photocopy the required pages. College freshmen, you have your whole life ahead of you and college is tough as fuck. I am especially speaking to the ones that were a big fish in a small pond back in high school, don't mean shit in college. The person who was a nerd with no friends back in high school will probably do better in college because they know how to study and can handle loneliness. My friend is a campus police officer and he is always surprised by all the suicides, in his mind over tribal stuff. Guys, don't punch your ticket because you failed a test for the first time in your life, or you might lose your scholarship because of a DUI. If you get lonely and depressed, get help. If you are taking a fridge to your dorm room, put a padlock on that shit. Thriftbooks.com, abebooks.com, knetbooks.com. Stinking Amazon. I would bet good money that your school bookstore will never be cheaper than these guys, and quite possibly 10x as much for textbooks. And don't be afraid to rent or buy used, and if you do get them, read them. It helps immensely. Also, you can allegedly find free PDFs easily, but I always wanted physical, so I'm not sure how. Go to class. I don't care that it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I don't care that it's 30 degrees outside. Get your ass out of bed and go to class. Cafeteria food isn't that bad. You'll probably be in debt enough after 4 years of school. Don't add 10 meals per week of takeout on top of that. The college almost certainly has a fitness center and / or intramural sports. Take advantage of that. Being active will help you keep a routine and keep your energy up for all of your other responsibilities. Join or create study groups. They're a great opportunity to make friends while also helping your academics. Edit. Caveat that this year is my 15-year reunion, so it's been a while for me. I still think the advice is decent, but know that it's coming from an old guy. Talk to your professors if you need help. College is not like high school. Many teachers are always willing to help you with deadlines and give you great feedback. I had a time I had to write a 10-page paper and ended up covering a shift and almost missing the due date. I contacted my professor and he gave me another 3 days to turn it in and told me to send him an email over the weekend if he wants me to peer edit it to make sure I'm not just rushing and writing garbage. Also, don't make up bullshit excuses like my internet stopped working or whatever. Just own up to your mistake. I covered a shift at my job and forgot the deadline for the paper was today. If you could help me, I would appreciate it, but I understand if you don't want to. Professors are there to help you succeed. Just be honest and respectful and they will give you the same treatment back. Sleep. The occasional late night while you're studying is fine, but chronic sleep deprivation makes everything so much harder. Don't pee in bottles and leave them in the trash. It makes the trash very heavy. 1. Sleep more than you study. 2. Study more than you party. 3. Party as much as you possibly can. Go to class. Get to know your professors as people. They have a ton of connections and most will bend over backwards to help students. Practice your presentation skills because you're going to have a lot of them. Try new things. You're in college and you're paying a fuck ton of money. Do it all if you can afford it. Join clubs, go on trips, study abroad, take a minor, try a dance class, make out with a nerd, etc. Expand your experiences. You will probably have 3 classes max per day. This gives you ample time to do any assignments or studying. Disciplined time management will get you a very high GPA, and you can still party / hang out with friends as much as you want. I basically did an hour of homework a day and managed to fuck off most the time and get a 3.7. Find out your institution's grading system. If it's cumulative, then you need to know that grades from the very first semester will affect your overall score at the end of your studies, so as much as you'd want to slack off if it's a cumulative system, don't in fact put forth a lot of effort in your first year. Usually, unless your class is special, your class will usually have a pattern of what's expected in class participation, a midterm / final and a paper. Learning that basically 99% of all my classes followed this pattern helped my sanity by being used to what I needed to do, and manage my time wisely. And while it's true that you can do a 10 PG paper in one night, no, please no. I'm a way off of college, but don't waste your time mindlessly on the internet or playing video games by yourself. You'll have plenty of time for that in 4 years, and at no other time in your life will you have access to so much stuff. If you find yourself spending time alone on the internet or video games to the point of not being able to stop, get some help, which the college will provide to you for free most likely. Also, the most socially and academically successful people I knew treated school like a 9-to-5 or 8-to-6 job and had a lot of fun in the off times. Talk to people. Network. It's not necessarily what you know but who you know. Obviously focus on your grades, but don't be me and worry about maintaining a high GPA instead of connecting with people. Don't be afraid to leave your abusive girlfriend. Definitely agree with the other poster that said treat it like a 9-to-5. Establish a routine, stick to the routine. Also, don't treat days off from class as days off. Do your work. Then, if you do all your shit in a selected time, ex 9 to 5, when your friends ask you to hang out, you're free. When you want to spontaneously do whatever or keep having a late night conversation with a friend, you don't need to stress because you got your work done. Edit. Also, talk to every person, involve yourself in everything. Make a list of all organizations before your first fall that you might be interested in, reach out to the organizers, over email, text, doesn't matter, and establish a relationship with them. Spend time with professors after class or during office hours. Make sure they remember you. Just throw as many leads out as possible with every person or group to establish a relationship with. Do appropriate things that make you uncomfortable. If you're shy, try talking to everyone and anyone. If you have never been involved in clubs or gave a hard time making friends, go to as many first meetings for clubs and organizations that you can find. Some of the best things in life are the result of pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. There are obviously exceptions to this and it might not work for everyone, but it helped me a lot my freshman year and I wish I had done it more. Girlfriend is a prof at a university up here in Canada. Her biggest gripe and something she always says to her students: read the damn syllabus. Got a question about the course? Syllabus how to contact the prof? Syllabus expectations. Yup, syllabus. Night classes are a great way to add flexibility to your schedule. Yeah, it sounds like it sucks, once a week from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. instead of 3 times a week for 1 hour. But I've never had a night class go those full 3 hours. The professors just want to get the hell out of there too after a long day just like you, so they'll rarely hold you a full 3 hours. I had a night class once that was supposed to be every Monday from 6 to 9:30 p.m. and the latest we ever got out of there was 8:30. Your TAs are literally paid to help you. Go to recitation. Go to office hours. If you're struggling but putting in an actual effort, you will have their support. Do not show up at the end of the semester and cry piteous tears of failing after skipping every opportunity to fix it. Also, don't leave your distribution requirements until the last semester. It will reduce your choices of subject and class times, put additional pressure on you to get a passing grade, and limit your ability to explore the subject further if it turns out you like it. Not sure if your curriculum requires it, but learn how to use citation managers like EndNote and Mendeley Zotero. It'll save you a shitton of time sorting out the different references and citations instead of manually typing it one by one. Edit. Also, since we're already balls deep into getting better access to academia stuff, I highly suggest using Sci-Hub, LibGen, and PDF Drive for searching articles/journals/papers in PDF form. Just a heads up though, due to the nature of how Sci-Hub works, there are certain times where you can't bypass the publisher's paywall, so you'll have to make do with other sources. Leave your door open and invite the people in your dorm in. College is much more fun with friends. Also, don't be the guy who doesn't shower. What professor you select matters more than the time or location of the course. People who prioritize the latter for comfort are the ones begging for mercy come finals. Failing a class or a test doesn't make you dumb or less of a person. Be way more outgoing than you'd normally be and join a club, especially one that pertains to the field you'd like to work in. It's years later and all of my best friends and memories are ones I made because I got out of my comfort zone and met people my freshman year. I can't even imagine what my life would look like if I hadn't done a few key events that I didn't feel like doing at the time. Not a current student, and I posted this in another thread yesterday, but don't be afraid of 8 AMs. Here's the caveat: don't take them every day, and know yourself. If you can't do math or a foreign language early in the morning, don't put yourself through that. Also, they're 100% worth it for a good professor, especially if it's in your major. My 8 a.m. English class defined the direction of the rest of my college career. That professor put me up for a job in the department, which led to positions in other organizations through other professors, became my advisor, then my mentor in my symposium, and is now still a trusted mentor and friend 3 years removed from undergrad. Also, make time for friendships and extracurriculars, but also start strong in your classes to show that you're a serious and hard-working student. Don't kill yourself, but building a strong track record, especially in your major, can build you a lot of goodwill with professors so that if you find yourself struggling, whether due to personal circumstances or a challenging junior/senior schedule, they'll be more likely to give you grace. Go to office hours. Hardly anyone does, and your profs will love you for it. It also helps your networking skills, and if you establish a good enough relationship, you can get good letters of rec for grad school/work apps. Communicate with your professors and classmates. If I was afraid to send an email or message when I felt stuck, I wouldn't have had the same level of success. The strength of college is the resources available to you, and that includes the people too. Forget pride, you're here to learn and succeed, so communicate honestly and ask for help. Never be scared to ask for help. You don't need permission to get up and leave class, and you can leave whenever you want. No more raising your hand to take a piss or ask to step out to take a call. Don't fall behind. Kill your roommate and make it look like an accident. Trust me. It gives you straight A's as long as you act shocked enough. Party enough, but not too much. There's a very high chance the study skills you learned in high school will not transfer over to college. There aren't many classes that you can just show up, listen to lecture and do well, while many people can just show up to high school and still manage a high 3 GPA. You might suck at things. Sometimes you have to grind and grind and grind to get that C and move on. There's no shame in sucking at something as long as you're working hard. Failure is a normal part of life. Going to class and literally just completing assignments will get you way farther than you think. I knew plenty of people in college that were incredibly smart that didn't succeed because they just didn't go to class or do the work. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You'll be surprised how much you learn by just showing up and participating. Remember, you're paying for the privilege to go to class. It's not something you should skip just because you can get away with it. I graduated a while back, but EasyBib.com saved me so much time when I was writing papers. This is not school. This is your job. Your first real one. That means that from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, except for a lunch break, your ass is concerned with school. 2-hour break between classes? You're still on the clock. Go to the computer lab. Go to the library. Work on that report. Study for that exam that is more than 2 weeks away. Can you skip work on a whim? No. Then you don't skip class on a whim. You don't skip studying on a whim. Just like during busy seasons at some jobs, you have busy seasons in this job. Finals. Midterms. When a big project is due, you might have to put in more than 40 hours that week. That's okay. Part of the job. 5 p.m. on Friday through 8 a.m. on Monday, except during busy season, is your weekend. Enjoy it. Party. Video game. Do something stupid. Have sex with the first semi-attractive person you see that reciprocates the idea. But you have a full-time job on the Monday through Friday. Act like it. If you are all of a sudden really tired, bored of everything and eating only crap food, chances are you are depressed. Go to the free counselor ASAP. Your mental health is the most important. Don't drink every night and get some veggies in while you can. Also, it isn't as serious as you think it's going to be. It's not a make or break time in your life. You have tons of time to do many things in your life. 7 a.m. classes as a college student are different than 7 a.m. classes in high school. Just avoid them unless you're a dedicated student. Find/create/join study groups for each and every class ASAP. This has 3 major benefits. You study smarter. You study on time. The classes, papers, and tests are easier. Besides, you'll make friends who don't just party or dope. Sleeping, partying, studying. On any given day, you can only follow through 100% on 2 of those 3 things, so choose wisely. Get involved. I know you think you're a cool loner and clubs are for dweebs, but never again in your life will you have groups of like people just assembled for you like that, where you can just show up and meet people without all of the work of trying to find them first. I'm not saying everybody needs to rush a sorority or devote a huge chunk of their time to running for student office or something, but the likelihood of there being at least one group dedicated to something you would enjoy is high, and you should at least give it a try. If you have to take an English class, take it as soon as possible in your college career. You're going to write papers in every class you take, and your English class will make you better at it. English class doesn't just teach you a skill you'll use in real life, and you will. English class teaches you a skill you'll use immediately during college. Go to a community college first. You will save so much money. I'm currently in debt and having trouble paying. My mom has just accepted that she will be in debt the rest of her life. She has already paid off her original price of the loans twice, but still is in debt because of interest, and unless one of us wins the lottery, she will have monthly payments until she dies. Sit in the front of class, and grab every chance to speak to the professors. There is so much you can gain from their wealth of knowledge. Date, but don't let your love life interfere with your studies. Studies come first, the hanky-panky can wait until after the big exam. If you can't respect each other's study time, you're not right for each other. Also, join school clubs of your interest. But if your grades are suffering because of your participation, it's time to quit. Do not overpack, don't bring useless shit from your bedroom to your dorm. Chances are you will not have a huge space. So just pack essentials and things you will need or use often, and anything extra you can buy when you get there. But if your college is rural, then you should definitely pack everything you will need and you will use, because you can't buy much. Hi, first year student here, finishing up in 2 weeks. Do your homework and papers. Don't stay out too late Monday, Thursday when you have classes the next day, because you'll regret it. Can't tell you how many people I watched drop like flies and didn't come back for the second semester because they were out on academic probation because they never went to classes due to being out really late smoking and drinking. I'm not saying don't smoke and drink if you want to, but know when you should and shouldn't, because knowing really helped me. Possibly the most important information on a syllabus is your professor's office hours. Put that shit in your calendar and go to them when you need help. Build a relationship with professors, because this will be important later on. Specifically, if you find yourself in a crisis situation, reach out to your professors. This is infinitely easier if you've already built that relationship by attending office hours, but I have found that most professors are empathetic, and most colleges have a wealth of resources that can help you if you need. I've gotten therapy, legal advice, and even housing assistance, none of which I would have known about if I hadn't told my professors about what was going on in my life. The absolute best dorm room advice I ever received. I went to a school where I didn't know anybody. When you're in your room, leave your door open. If it has one of those auto closer levers, break out a Phillips head screwdriver and remove it. College freshmen don't know how to start conversations with strangers. I did this one cool trick and made a ton of friends on my floor. First was when a guy saw a LAN cable running out my window to the floor above and heard me playing Moa on my sweet Dell PC. I am literally turning into dust as I write this. He asked to get in on the server play and we were roommates the next year. The next week I had my door open and was laying on my bed listening to OK Computer, pretty loud, and this trippy looking dude just wandered in and started lip syncing and slowly dancing. I got up and started slowly dancing like we were 2 drugged up baboons. That was 20 years ago, I was the best man in his wedding and we're friends for life. Leave your door open. People will be able to see your rad wizard riding a dragon blacklight poster, or your hockey jerseys, or hear your sweet jams, or whatever, and it will give them an open invitation to start a conversation. Obs, close it and put a sock on the handle when you're badgering the witness, or actually, prayers up, getting laid. God, I miss college. Go to class, never, ever, ever, ever skip class. Best damned 4 years I'll never get back. I envy you. Sleep more than you study more than you party, and party as much as you can. If you stay true to this formula, you will have the time of your life and graduate actually knowing about the field you got a degree in. Work hard to make friends early. Go to club callouts. Randomly ask people in your hall to go eat or play a game in the first few weeks. Get involved with stuff. Those freshman friendships you make last the whole 4 years sometimes. Don't waste your time. You will pay for it later. $20,000 in student loans can quickly become $40K plus if you don't go to class, change major, or change schools. Have an understanding of what you are going after and get it done as fast as possible. Don't choose by what the class is about. Choose by how interesting the professor is. A great professor will make anything interesting. A boring professor will make the thing you're totally interested in seem boring. You are not there to learn things. You are there to learn how to learn. 1. Read the material before the lecture. 2. Do not wait until the night before the exam to start studying. 3. Don't waste your nights on the computer. You'll have your whole life after for that. If in person is an option, take it. It's been a long time since I was a freshman, but here are a few that helped me. 1. Buy a good golf umbrella. You don't want to get caught in a rainstorm between classes. 2. Know where the restroom/vending machines are in each building. 3. Don't put up with crappy roommates who violate overnight visitor rules. 4. Be careful with drugs/alcohol. 5. Join clubs and meet people, date, and have relationships. 5. Go to spring break and go to parties. 6. For girls, be safe and use the buddy system, look out for each other. 6. Don't bring anything valuable with you to campus. I had so many friends who had their expensive mountain bikes stolen. These are just a few. If a girl tells you her nipples are pierced, the correct response is I don't believe you. Don't waste your money on books. Libgen. Fun. Your time management skills suck. There aren't any do-overs. Rate my professor. Try and eat as nutritiously as you can to fuel your body. The freshman 15 is real, y'all. I'm not trying to perpetuate diet culture here, so just hear me out. But after being used to my mom doing all the cooking fairly healthy for years, I went to college and ate quick and unhealthy meals/takeout/desserts that weren't in my house. By the time summer came, I felt so uncomfortable in my body and my grades were really slipping. The next year I made better choices and exercised, and my grades/mental health improved. I'm not saying stick to a diet or anything, but just try to avoid McDonald's for every meal. Pay interest on loans while in school. PE class, school lunches, and sports did a lot more for your health than you realized. If you don't stay on top of eating healthy and staying active, you will gain a startling amount of weight in a short time period. Yes, I know there's a ton of other stuff to give advice on, but nobody ever talks about maintaining your own health once you're all grown up. If you are required to color pages of an anatomy study guide, do it. Just because you're out of K-12 doesn't mean you retire the colored pencils. This is likely the first time in your life that you are responsible for feeding yourself, and no one's stopping you from doing this, so. Just because you can get 5 scoops of ice cream twice a day at the dining hall doesn't mean you should. Same goes for pizza, chips, soda, and other snacks. FYI. If you're gonna vomit all over the place, do it in the garbage can. The custodians don't get paid enough for this shit. You will likely have better luck finding queen-sized comforters you like than twin XLs. Who cares if it's a little big? It's comfier anyway. Don't skimp on sheets though. Bring at least 2 sets of twin XL. You will probably need to change them at some inopportune moment and you'll be grateful you have an extra set. Best advice I got from my brother before heading to college: you're looking for a roommate, not a friend. If you end up friends, great, but you really just want someone you can live with. I am a college advisor and see students make simple mistakes every year. If you want to be above average, you can do some simple things. 1. Go to class. You are in college to learn. Attend class. All of them. 2. Read your email. Whether you like it or not, email is a part of life and a lot of that starts in college. 3. Dedicate time to studying. You may have not had to study in high school, that will change at the college level. 4. Finally, ask for help. Colleges devote millions of dollars to resources to help students succeed. Take advantage of all of them that you can. There is probably someone to help. Current academic advisor. Here are some tips. * Use your advisor. Sure, I'm biased. But this is the person who is going to connect you to resources/opportunities and knows all the things you're supposed to be doing. * Get to know your professors. Networking is important for things during and beyond college. * Check your school email frequently. This is how the school communicates with you. * Don't be afraid to ask questions/for help. Chances are someone else is in the same situation as you. * Carve out the time in your week when you're going to do your schoolwork. I'll just do it later generally results in all-nighters, writing full 10+ page papers in one day, and a lot of unnecessary stress. You are going to get chlamydia without protection. If you have roommates, talk with them about your expectations of them and their expectations of you. Don't leave any kind of secrets about, like, if you want study times or hangout time. If they have trouble keeping those expectations, then talk with the RA. Also, don't room with your friends from high school. You may like them but not like them as a roommate. Don't go into debt in order to go. Avoid fraternities, make close friends the old-fashioned way by talking to people, going to events, find out what nights are the good nights to go out. Get to know the RAs to see who are super strict and who are laid back. Always go to class and join study groups, another good way to meet people and make friends. Find out if you have any big trips during the year. My school did an annual snow trip, summer trips, and other events. I got involved and sold tickets to these awesome trips, and then I got to go for free, and I also made a lot of friends along the way. Find out what you like and make friends in those circles. I like sports and working on campus, so I did those and had an amazing time in college. Be open to meeting people, trying new experiences and having fun. College is the best 4 to 7 years of your life, so enjoy winking face. Need to study? Go to the library. Ask people in your class to meet you at a set time to study. You're much more likely to actually study if other people are waiting on you, and you'll make some friends. I also learned from doing this that in high school I was a big fish in a small pond. Some people I met in college made me feel like a chimp that can grunt its name, but those people were also the best to study with. Get that microwave. The campus food is biohazardous. Your standards for getting good grades will drop immensely. After a while you will be more than happy to get a pass. It is much more important to get a good professor than getting a good class schedule. Several terms in a row I had chances to compact my classes into a single block, but instead choose to take my classes spread out because in a major like engineering better professors really does make a difference. Of course, depending on the major and college itself, the flexibility will vary, especially with the size of the program. One term I even took 24 credit hours just to avoid a certain professor I despised. Finished is better than perfect. As long as you turn assignments in, don't stress too much about them being perfect. Especially in prerequisite classes. Read the syllabus. Almost every administrative answer about a class is in the syllabus. professor's email, office hours, class times and days, quizzes, exam days, percentages that these are worth, late policy, and so much more. Don't be afraid to talk to your professors. They're people too. And it makes asking questions in office hours or in class easier. Lots of other answers say this, but I'll repeat it: go to class. Wear a condom. Sandwich bags are cheaper than condoms. What you major in is much more important than your overall GPA. As someone who isn't the most social, the best way to meet people is to join clubs. Lots of colleges have fairs where the clubs set up booths to recruit new students. Go to it. If a club seems interesting, then go and join for a few weeks to try it out. I met almost all of my close friends through the clubs I joined, and we are all still friends post-graduation. Best decision I made in college was to join those clubs. My very careful about expressing political opinions. There is a small minority of insane students who are incapable of rational behavior when exposed to ideas and concepts they don't agree with. They will try and ruin your life. It depends on the most important thing, STEM or non-STEM. Don't assume the TA will be more lenient on you. They are actually more likely to not cut you any slack because they have to justify everything they do with their supervising professors. Congrats! You have control over 24 hours of your day. You've never had this before. No one is going to check that you sleep at all, brush your teeth, eat, go to class, clean your room, study, etc. In high school, you don't go to class, people notice, ask about it, etc., but it doesn't really impact your grade. In college, you don't go to class, no one notices or cares. But it'll tank your grade. Find a balance. Everything in moderation, including moderation. Thank you for watching the video. Welcome to Reddit Wisdom. Here you will learn the wisdom of the crowd, the wisdom of Reddit. Please consider subscribing for more Reddit wisdom.